Hello viewers, welcome to KBOXtv, and it's your boy Kofi Basic Jr. And today we're discussing what we just witnessed on the DAZN show, which included DEVIN HANEY versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. A lot of us had a lot of expectations, but yeah, we saw what happened, and it's a really interesting one. Of course, I have a few friends who will join us on the show for us to discuss what they saw and what they felt. And the same way, if you also want to join the show to tell us how you felt and how the show went for you, you can tell us. Now, let's look at this guy. I mean, a very fantastic talent, right? DEVIN HANEY. We had a lot of expectations for him in the fight. We thought that he would knock Gamboa out because Gamboa is like 38 years old, right? And I mean, you all watched the fight. He didn't seem like somebody who had anything left in him, right? I mean, of course, he was sharp. DEVIN HANEY was sharp. You could use that. You could see that he was using his jabs more. He was able to reach him. He was using his reach very, very well, and all that, right? But you look at Gamboa and you ask yourself. I mean, the guy is like 38 years old, right? And he's fighting against a 22 years old guy, and you're expecting the youthfulness in this Haney guy, you know, to come up and then to be able to knock Gamboa out. And the commentators were all giving Haney the credit. They never acknowledged the fact that Gamboa was even going in and was throwing very good shots and were landing very clean too as well on DEVIN HANEY. It was all a one-way street. Of course, DEVIN HANEY won the fight, but at least the commentators should have come in and to give credit to some of the to some of the punches, the clean punches that Gamboa was landing, which wasn't the case. Everything was going right in direction of DEVIN HANEY. Of course, it's their show. It's being promoted by Matchroom, and they are solidly holding DEVIN HANEY. But looking at the fight, I mean, we saw what Gervonta Davis did to DEVIN HANEY. Many thought that Gervonta Davis did to Gamboa. Many thought that Gamboa, DEVIN HANEY would even do better. And going into the fight, DEVIN HANEY said I was going to knock him down 4 times before he eventually knock him out and to win the fight. And we didn't see that happen. What would you say? Would you say that Gamboa was too good on the night to avoid the punches that would make him go down, or he was just too good that DEVIN HANEY couldn't catch him? Or is it this way that you see that DEVIN HANEY was also sticking to the plan, which was just to jab and to win the fight? I mean, all these things are something that keeps ringing in my head, and ask myself that, is DEVIN HANEY even really ready for the lightweight division, where you have the top dog Teofimo Lopez over there? You also have Gervonta Davis, who gave us a very spectacular performance over the last weekend against Leo Santa Cruz. And we're also talking about Commey, the Ghanaian Commey, the former IBF lightweight champion. If I look at the way DEVIN HANEY was fighting, and I bring up Commey, I see him causing real or becoming a very big problem for him. And then we also look at Vasyl Lomachenko, who lost the title to Teofimo Lopez. And you ask yourself that if you put Lomachenko and Haney in a ring, who is going to come out victorious, considering the fact that considering what we just witnessed today in the ring, right? And then you ask yourself, will he be able to, you know, bring some spectacular performance apart from, or will he? I mean, I wasn't impressed with what I saw. All right, I wasn't impressed. Of course, the judges gave him two judges gave him 120, which I would have scored the same. But I was thinking that he was going to give us a very spectacular performance by knocking Gamboa out, because he said a lot of things before coming into the show, before going into this ring, and looking at what Gervonta gave us over the weekend, I was thinking he was also going to come in and make a very solid statement. Because don't forget that Teofimo Lopez was paired against the king in the lightweight division, and then he was able to dethrone him, right? and then Gervonta made a very solid statement saying that he is the king, he is ready, and then he will take on anybody in the division. So I was expecting that Haney will come in and then also show some toughness and go like, okay, I am the guy, or because already they are calling him the email champion, right? So if he was able to knock Gamboa out, the same opponent that Gervonta Davis was able to knock out, it would have been a very good statement for him to go like, okay, yeah, so he owns the division. Guys, if you're just watching the show, we were talking about the aftermath of the Devin Haney versus Yuriorkis Gamboa fight. Yuriorkis lost the fight. Gervonta won. Devin Haney won the fight after 12 rounds of boxing. The judges scored about 120, 121, 117, 121, 117. I've forgotten the last number. That's how it went for him. I'm going to bring one of my friends, Kujo Amedoda, so that we have the discussion together. Kujo, welcome to KBOXtv.
Thank you very much, Kobe.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you very loud and clear.
Yeah, nice one. I mean, you watched the fight. Were you impressed by what you saw?
Yeah, Kofi, I am very, very impressed. I enjoy this fight much.
Okay.
But many people will not like this fight. They will call this fight boring and so many lot of things.
Right.
But if you see that with technical eyes, you will get to see that this is the very good fight. Very, very good fight. And this fight remind me of how old Shemusli met what's the name, Pacquiao in the ring. He was just strategizing not to get knocked out. So and he was able to finish the 12th round. That is what happened between this fight we just watched.
Okay.
It got to a point. Gamboa was just protecting himself to the point that the referee even deducted a point from him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a very good fight. It's a good, very, very, very good fight, technical fight.
Now looking at the performance of Devin Haney, he finds himself in the lightweight, which has become a very competitive division, with a very with guys that I'll say who the guys are very solid punch. They are very solid punches or strong punches. Don't you fear for him that if you match him against some of these guys like Gervonta Davis or the current king, who was the Teofimo Lopez, it would be a problem?
This guy will beat Teofimo Lopez so simple.
Okay, you think
he's far better than Teofimo. You see, he's far better. He have a long reach, and then with a piston jab, okay. And he loves to be far away, and then he will be far away and do all the jobs. Teofimo cannot beat Devin Haney, okay, unless a punching chance.
Okay,
that's the only thing that Teofimo can use to beat Devin Haney. Teofimo cannot stand in the ring with Devin Haney and win a fight. No.
Interesting. Now,
yeah.
I was talking about. So you said Teofimo can't stand Devin Haney. What of Gervonta?
Gervonta also lose to Devin Haney. Do you know why?
Tell me.
These are the guys. Okay, these are the guys that come in to fight. Okay. One thing Devin Haney, what's the name? Gervonta have is Gervonta know all the angles, the kind of angle punches and the good punches at any given time. That is one thing that Gervonta have over Devin Haney. But apart from that, Devin Haney's jabs and the way he takes his time with the calculations, the head movement are all ahead of Gervonta Davis. And then he don't get perturbed whenever that anything is going on in the ring. He keep his calm and then go according to the game plan. That is one thing I love about this guy. So this guy, if he's fighting, you will see the whole thing like Money Mayweather. He will not allow you to punch him, give him some unnecessary punches, but he will make sure that all the time he's one step ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. Now let me put you on pause. I will come back to you again. But guys, if you're just watching the show, we're talking about a fight that just happened between Devin Haney versus Yuriorkis Gamboa, and it ended in a unanimous decision victory for the Devin Haney. Of course, it was expected that he was going to win. Many of us predicted a knockout victory, but we didn't get that. And I have a few friends on the line that we want to talk about this with. And let me bring on the show David Sowa. David Sowa is one of my favorite guys that we discuss boxing on KBOXtv, and he predicted a knockout victory for Devin Haney, which couldn't happen. I want to ask him. I mean, you watched the fight. Were you surprised about the performance of Devin Haney?
Kofi, don't get me wrong. I was the one that predicted there was never going to be a knockout in this fight.
Sorry, you said that. You said there was not going to be a knockout in this fight.
Good.
The performance of Devin Haney.
Kofi, you see, I'm a happy man today, and I'm a daughter today. It should congratulate me. I told you Devin Haney is not ready for the 135 division. Devin Haney is not a good fighter to me. And you see, if you want to be honest, you admit that Devin Haney is not a good fighter. Kofi, from the beginning, when I saw the pairing, I told myself Devin Haney can never knock Gamboa out. He shouldn't even think of even trying to knock Gamboa out. And if not for the fact that Gamboa is an old man and he has taken some millions behind the back, I tell you, would have knocked this boy out. Kofi, Devin Haney is not the kind of fighter that he can compete with the big guys at 135. Kofi, nobody should even joke about it. Nobody should even try to be biased about it. I think Devin Haney has been hyped so much. It's not up to the task. Kofi, Devin Haney is not up to the task. What he did today is shitty. His performance is I don't know how to describe his performance, but this is not the kind of fight that people want to watch. And Kofi, I can tell you on authority, people didn't watch this fight because they knew Devin Haney won't give a good fight.
I was watching the fight with my wife. She loves boxing a lot, and then she just woke up. It was like fight with the NFA, and then she went back to sleep. You know, the expectations that many of us had, considering the performance that Gervonta Davis gave us against Leo Santa Cruz, and the fight that Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez gave us, we had a lot of expectations. Of course, even if it was going to go to the end of the rounds, you were expecting a very action-packed fight, and then of course we all knew that Devin Haney was going to win at a point. But the performance, the expectation, I think it was below average for me. I didn't see a very solid opponent. Could it be because Gervonta Davis is coming from an injury and Gamboa himself also had some injury before this fight?
Kofi, this is not about injury. You see, when you have a good fighter, when you have a fighter that when you see the ring is full of action, you know. We saw what happened with Gervonta and Leo Santa Cruz. When Leo Santa Cruz was dominating the fight, Gervonta is a good fighter. It's a fighter that will give you good entertainment. He came in and they changed the game, and all the fans were happy. And this is boxing. You have to give the fans what they want. Kofi, with Devin Haney, I've never liked Devin Haney from the beginning. And I've always been of the fact that because he's from a rich home, they've been able to work his way out to where he is now. You see, sometimes we have to be honest, and as boxing pundit that we come on the show, we must speak the fact. And the fact is that Devin Haney is not ready for 135. You know, you asked a good question last 3 days about the chances of Richard Commey with Devin Haney. You see, when you asked that question, I sat down and I was like, no, Richard Commey can beat this guy. Because I've watched the fight. You see, with this kind of performance, if you had paired him with Richard Commey would have won this fight. He would have won this fight hands down. And he would have even...
I believe Richard Commey can really pull an upset. He really can pull an upset on this one.
and it would have given a better fight. You see, the thing that people must accept now is when you look at the background of Devin Haney, you will know this guy. This is a little boy that he grew up with boxing stars. So it's an obsession. Like I want to do it because I've seen all these big guys. I've seen Zabjuda. I've seen Mike Tyson. He had opportunities to be on this type of
so he thought that he could make it.
He could do it, and truly, his dad pushed him with money. Because I've watched all his fights. His fights are not interesting to watch to start with. Secondly,
that he has fought. This is the biggest name that he has fought on his career.
This is the biggest name he has fought. And I was even expecting, right now that is a WBC title holder. He shouldn't have fought Gamboa. He should have fought a better opponents. We have Linares there. We have Richard Commey there. We have a lot of big girls. Luke Campbell is there. And you go and fight Gamboa. Gamboa and old man. How can you fight Gamboa and old man?
Let me bring back Amedoda on the show. I guess Amedoda has a different thing to say. Amedoda, I'm sure you were listening to all the conversations that we were having.
I am a boxing enthusiast.
Yeah.
And I've been watching boxing. In fact, this fight is a very good fight.
Okay.
By all standard. Okay. Is he the biggest fight of the century?
Before I catch you, I'll go online. I'll go to some of the tweets that were coming in while the fight was going on live, and I'll read some of the comments for you to find. But you can go on, Amelia.
Yeah. The biggest fight of the century is the fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao.
Okay.
Kofi, after that fight, how did people describe the fight? How did the general public? How did the
It didn't even have the expectations of the public.
That is it.
So it's not the fight of the century. It's the money. Based on the past.
No, it's the fight of the century.
But when we talk about fight
of the century,
the fight itself is not the fight of the century. Amedoda, you know it. It was described the fight of the century because of the money involved.
But they biled it already. They biled it as a fight of the century already before the D-Day. So it's the fight of the century. You can't take it away. You see, and the reason why you are saying this thing right now is the fireworks you were expecting, you didn't see it. That firework did not come into that fight. Okay, it's the same thing that happened today. Somebody come with technical skills. Okay, with technical skills. If the chance comes to knock you, I'll knock you out. But if the chance didn't come, I'll make sure that you not hurt me in the fight. That is how this guy fight. Okay, and he's very close to Mayweather. So Mayweather have been teaching him what to do in the ring. At the end of this thing, you win the fight.
You are missing something, yeah. You are missing something.
Yeah.
They have the counter punch and everything. Are you saying that Teofimo Lopez doesn't have it? And they are as young as himself, Devin Haney, right?
Yeah.
What will make their fight and making him and putting him at a disadvantage is that the guys have what they have, what he has, and those guys have a bank. You know, they have like a bank. They can shut you down with just one point. You understand? We saw what happened on the night against Gamboa. And that's very key. Lomachenko, sorry, maybe Lomachenko. Lomachenko, if it could have been Brian Garcia, Gervonta Davis, or Teofimo Lopez, Gamboa would have gone down.
Yes,
those punches that landed clean, but Gamboa took those punches and came back and even gave him more pressure before the round could have ended, and then he would have just swung behind his armpits and then he would lost and go and be at his back end. I mean, didn't you see all these things?
Good.
You see, Kofi, all that you are saying, it is true.
Yeah.
But the guy came in with a status. That is his status. We will fight, and then I'll make sure that I will be beating you to the point. He have a very good head than than all the guys in 135 right now. Devin Haney have a very good head more than all the guys, and then he have a very good jab more than the guys, and he's have the longer reach more than all the guys over there. But let me tell you this: Teofimo is one boxer do get frustrated anytime that he's under pressure. Teofimo, go back and watch Teofimo very well. Teofimo is the guy, he has skills, okay, and he has banging. But Teofimo is the guy, if you give him pressure, he will forget about everything and then stand in front of you that let's bang. That is what he's been doing. Okay, but this is the difference in that angle. The difference between them is Devin Haney is the guy who will not give you that chance to punch his head anyhow. Okay, you see, if you see the fight, what's the name? Teofimo, no, the fight that finished last week. That's Gervonta versus Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah,
you see that Gervonta is receiving more punches, which Devin Haney will never receive against even the same Leo Santa Cruz. I'm telling you, that is his style of boxing, and he's coming with a technical style. At the end of it, I'll beat you by 1 point to it. That is what he's been doing. So I'm not surprised that this fight went like this. It's a very good fight. I love the fight to the pop.
So let me come to you, Msuwa. This performance by Devin Haney, and let's assume, or let's all take it under consideration that he's a technical fighter, and he's so technical that you can punch and then he will not take a punch. Let's assume that is what it is. And
well, that is exactly what it is.
who's very like unpredictable. Yeah, just a punch and then you're out. A punch and you're out. And he can take a punch. And like Amadina saying, Gervonta can take a punch. He can take a punch. In fact, what even brings the excitement is that you can take a punch and then you can also give some. And then so let's assume that all these things, and then you pair these two guys together. For you, how do you see that fight ending?
I see it as a knockout. I see it as a straight knockout, and it's going to be a brutal knockout than what Gervonta did to Leo Santa Cruz. Kofi, let's be honest to ourselves. Let's be honest to ourselves. What Devin Haney did today, you see, everybody is talking about it. Nobody wants to watch his fight. And you see, there can be only one Mayweather. There can be only one Mayweather. And Mayweather, at a point, he fought the big guys. He was tested. And he proved his style is meant for him, and his style will always work for him. Devin Haney, you can see, even when he tries to put those angles, there are a lot of times he leaves himself exposed, behaving like Mayweather. And if he should face any of the boys, even Lomachenko, or even if he should face Leo Santa Cruz will destroy him. Well, you see,
because they for me, I feel like they all have the reach. If you put him against Leo Santa Cruz and Amendola, that's why I put that question to you. If you put him against Leo Santa Cruz, you have the reach, and who also, I agree that Haney is a very good jabber. In fact, what won him the fight tonight was not anything but of good jabs. It was jabbing to the stomach and jabbing to the head. That is what won him the fight today. But put him against somebody who also makes his hand. Who has the reach? How would you score that fight, Amendola?
I don't think even Leo Santa Cruz. Well, sometimes the fight might end anyway. But one thing about Leo Santa Cruz is Leo Santa Cruz don't have head. He just stiff his head down. And then fighting with Devin Haney and then stiff your head down like that. Devin Haney will not stop for you to set you up for you to punch him. Okay? Devin Haney will not do that. Devin Haney will be going around you. And then once your head is there idle, then that means the referee might stop the fight because of, or maybe the doctors might stop the fight because of the jabs that you are carrying on your head throughout.
Okay. Interesting. Now let me hear you. So are you coming?
if Devin Haney should face Leo Santa Cruz, let me tell you what will happen. He
Tell us.
will be put under pressure. He will be taking combinations to the body. You see, Leo Santa Cruz will break his head. You see, the kind of punches Leo Santa Cruz throws.
Leo Santa Cruz
he will break his head. See, you can never underestimate Leo Santa Cruz. Gervonta, the way Gervonta won the fight with Leo Santa Cruz, you must salute Gervonta. It shows exactly because Leo Santa Cruz will put the pressure on you. You wouldn't have that space to think. Yeah. And his punches he throws, Kofi, there are a lot of punches that will break you down. Not a big punch that maybe one will take you down, but
it will break you down.
The many he throws will break you down. So Kofi, with Devin Haney, I don't see Devin Haney beating anybody. See, if he should face a good, I told you 3 days ago that Devin Haney will be exposed. If you remember, I told you this fight will expose him. And listen, when you go to social media today, when you go to Twitter, you will see that what I said is what has happened.
I wanted to read some. Let me read some. He says, Haney maybe didn't lose a minute, but had not to be disappointed if you are in his corner. I imagine it seemed like they were thinking knockout or bust coming in. Then this one too is saying that the official result shows that Devin Haney is a good fighter, but I wasn't impressed. This is also saying that Devin babyface Haney. This is two absolute garbage main events with absolute garbage promotion. I almost forgot about what's coming. He's talking about the, Luis Ortiz also fighting Flores. Still think Haney might be the one of the best in the young line. He is uninspiring. I mean, some of these comments are not something which are very great, and these are some of the comments coming in. I'm reading live on Twitter, and sounds like I didn't miss much. It wasn't an interesting fight. Somebody said you need power to beat the likes of Davis and Lopez. Can Haney do that? Because it is true. See, you jump. You put on the money fight, like the money Floyd Mayweather fight. But these guys, they will just knock you out without even you realizing that they're knocking you out. There were times that Gamboa shots touched Devin Haney, right? If it was any of these guys, Haney would have gone down. I mean, you have to accept this one. If it was it would have gone down.
Go, let me tell you this. You see, before Teofimo will fight this thing, Richard Commey.
Yeah.
He fought against Nakatani.
Yeah,
okay.
Nakatani.
Yeah, he fought against Nakatani. And then people were coming out that, Teofimo is exposed. Yeah. Teofimo was exposed.
Right.
And they asked Teofimo that this is what people were saying. Did you hear his answer?
No, but he said, remember very well too. Going into that Nakatani fight, he had a problem with his father and then his mother, when they were his family didn't want. First of all, his family didn't want him to marry the girl, and then his father was torn between supporting his wife and his children, his sisters. Again, so none of them was able to go to even his wedding. You understand? So going to that fight, camp, but there was not a properly set camp going to that fight. So if you remember very well, that was the family were even saying that they were not even expecting him to even come out victorious. And they also said that it was a very good test for him because he was able to go to almost closer to the end of the rounds and for people to go like, okay, this guy can even if you want to come to on that particular fight. So that fight, he was going in mentally unstable, and that is what made the performance that we saw. Because Teofimo could have seen a better version of Teofimo, because if you watch that fight, the performance, the fight before the Nakatani fight, everybody thought that he was going to go to the fight and then give us another bang. Eventually, he even gave us a bang. He didn't still give us a bang. That's even when he was unstable, he was still even able to give us a bang. I know that he was still able to give us a bang. When Gamboa was beating Gervonta Davis, he was still able to give us a bang. That is what I'm talking about. That as much as you will be able to beat somebody, the person who has the iron fist, you can't predict him.
Exactly.
Govi, that story, the problem, the Teofimo problem, the family problem, that thing arose later after Nakatani fight. He didn't go into Nakatani fight. He didn't go into Nakatani fight with that problem. That thing started before the Nakatani fight, but that problem wasn't part of the Nakatani fight. So the problem arose at the time that he finished Nakatani fight. I was preparing for Richard Commey. Even it got to a point that he himself was saying that Richard Commey fight will not come on. It's because of the domestic problem that he have with his family. That is why that fight will not. So people were saying that no, he's afraid of Richard Commey. That is why. But he was able to put himself together with the family, and then they prepare themselves and then go into. But the excuse that he came out with the Nakatani fight was Nakatani was very tall. Nakatani was very tall. That is why he wasn't able to do what he's capable of doing. And then as they asked him again, he said the people that are saying that fight exposed him, they don't know shit about boxing. That is what he said. You see, fine. In boxing, and what you are saying that Devin Haney is supposed to put up some good fight, do things that they should see that hey, this is all. Devin Haney himself said that he will beat Gamboa more than anybody has ever beat Gamboa. He said it before the fight. But as he went into the ring, things were not the way he was seeing it. But to me, he came out with a very good strategy fight. He did very well in the fight. To me, he did very, very well in the fight. He don't take punches like that. He don't like his movement. Everything was very perfect and clean. But only that this guy also came in with a strategy in the later round that hey, you will not knock me. So he started holding him and things like that. Please don't forget that it's the same Devin Haney that Bob Arum know very well, and then Loma, and then they went in for franchise instead of facing Devin Haney. That is the fact. That is the fact. Loma cannot beat Devin Haney.
I can understand if would dodge the press, or he would dodge Haney because of no, he would dodge Devin Haney with Lomachenko, but I don't see him dodging with Teofimo Lopez in this performance.
That one it can't happen. He will not dodge Teofimo against Haney. That fight, it will come on. Yeah, it will come on. But the only thing I'm believing is that fight will not come on now. They will not allow these young guys to go into a fight now. They might wait for them to meet at the next stage, where is maybe welterweight.
That fight is going to happen soon. Do you know why it's going to happen soon? Devin has been calling all these boys. You see, Devin himself, he knows it's not up to the task. So he started calling Ryan Garcia when Ryan Garcia was not even a world champion. Even when he was a world champion, through email, he was still calling Ryan Garcia. He has been calling Frank. He has been calling all the boys. Even at the time, was even calling Brunner and Andre Brunner. Yeah, Andre Brunner. Yeah. Exactly. Devin is the kind of guy that he wants to be seen. He wants to display what he wants fame. He wants people to know him. And Gofi, with the performance he has put today, his biggest test, and he performed like this. Right now, do you know what is going to happen? The boys are now going to call him because he has the title. Don't forget, he has a title. And all these boys, they are hungry to be world champions. And the title he has is the WBC title, which has some weight. So Gofi, definitely they are all going to call, unless he vacate the title. And I tell you, if he defends his title with these boys, it's going to be a knockout before round 6. Okay, I'm giving you the prediction here. If it's for Garcia, I'm telling you, it's going to be a knockout before round 6. Before round 6, they will knock him out, and that will be insane.
Okay, now guys, now let's look at the heavyweight fight. The heavyweight fight against Ortiz and Flores. I mean, it just took only 46 seconds for King Kong to come the King Kong. Now, King Kong is 41 years, and he says that he still has some power in him. And of course, if you look at the fight against Flores, you will agree that he still has some power in him, because the body shots that he punched that the guy went down, you go like, Charlie, Luis Ortiz, like he's old, but he's still powerful. I mean, do you still think that he can become a world champion at age 41?
Luis Ortiz, he himself don't see himself becoming a champion.
But that's why
he don't see himself. No, he's just making noise. He don't see himself, because you remember Ortiz got a fight against Joshua. He refused to fight against Joshua. So
he explained that fight they only talked on phone, and so he waited for them to sign a contract, and they never said. All they realized was that they were going to fight Andy Ruiz.
No. The thing is, we read about that fight very well. He got a chance to fight Joshua, but he didn't fight because he said they should give him $10 million, and they said they'll give him $5 million. Even they top it up, but he said he will not fight. Later on, he was blaming his people that they caused him not to get the fight, because they could have allowed him to fight at the price that they are giving him, but they caused him. So it's not about he talk about this thing. He's just saying something else.
No, the thing is that he admitted that there was some sort of offer. You understand? But he never got to him.
Yeah.
It's like, for instance, this boxing world. You always, and don't forget, he's a Cuban and he doesn't speak good English, right? So he has people who are supposed to contact him. All he knew was first he had a call that this is what they had wanted to give him, right? Or they wanted to give him the fight, and then he gave the person who is supposed to lead through and get the fight done and everything, and the fight never happened because the person didn't come to him to tell him that, okay, what you want we got for you and everything. So if he's saying that the fight never got to him, they never got to him, because it's different if you tell me, I'm another, come on, we are working with boxers. If a boxer comes and I call you and I tell you that, oh, I want, for instance, I want someone to fight for me, and so I saying that, oh, deal with me. So I expect you to come back to tell me that, okay, now I've agreed the fight, I'm not agreed the fight. So if the fight never comes on, it never comes on. I'll do that. Maybe the money that you were trying to lobby for on behalf of Suwa didn't go through.
Well, it might be so anyway, but what I read is he said they should give him more money to fight that fight. And then later on, as the fight was cancelled, he was blaming his managers that they caused the cancelling of the fight. Like he will be able to fight. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't think he deserves $10 million?
He was saying they should give him $10 million, but most of the time they check on some things before they give you offer. Okay, and then that purse that he's talking about, he never even got a purse of $5 million before. In any of his fights, he never got $5 million before. So if they say they are giving you $5 million, they even move it up, but you are still insisting that they should give you $10 million. That means you don't want to fight. That the same thing. What's the name? The heavyweight champion, the former WBC heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder. Yeah, it's the same thing. He also did. He was also afraid of AJ that time. He don't want to put his title on the line, and he lost the fight. And then the fight didn't come on before he went to face Tyson Fury.
Okay. So if you were in Luis Ortiz's shoes, would you retire or you still fight on because you might get the big money fight?
Maybe I would still like to fight, but I'll fight the people that I know I can beat. Then later, when maybe by a year or two, when everybody's talking about me, then I get paid with AG to get maybe some good money. Then I retire with it, because right now it looks like he's looking for a big press to end his career.
Right.
He's looking for a big press to end his career. So.
Looking at the show, it was promoted by his own, King Kong Promotions in conjunction with PBC. And so
Okay.
already spent. PBC, they don't just work with the fighters. They make sure they promote that they are able to, have a lot of money. But this show that he did, obviously your money is going to go, and the fans didn't even come. Of course, you get some TV rights from the rest of the other card that came, but it's not going to be as big as you had wanted it to be. For me, the performance I saw on the night, I felt he was sharp. Maybe it could have been because it came earlier. Maybe if it had gone to maybe round 3 or round 4, he would have got tired or something. But then he didn't also allow the guy to go that round 3 or round 4. He made sure that he stopped him as early as he can. Just to make a statement, sort of. Now, looking at Joshua and Tyson Fury, he's saying he's trying to get a fight with Chisora. Maybe he says he's thinking that if he gets through Chisora, he'll be able to get through the big boys, because most of these guys are trying to fight Chisora. So what do you think about this Chisora name that is coming up in this mix?
I think Luis Ortiz is a good boxer. He has the skills, but when it comes to power, I don't know if Wilder was able to really absorb his power, because his power is questionable. Because when he fought Wilder in the first fight, he threw a lot of punches like it was needed. But I don't know why his punches didn't put Wilder down. I think it was in the second fight that he threw some punch that Wilder lost balance, but Wilder was still able to come into the fight. So it's either his power is questionable in the latter rounds, or he has power, but he can throw it in the early rounds. And if that's the case, and you are going to fight someone like Chisora, I don't think his power can be it can be effective in that fight, because Chisora will be around him from the early rounds, and he's just like Chisora. They all gas out in the latter rounds, and when they gas out in the latter rounds, he's going to be two old men. With these two old men, the fight can go either way, because Chisora too has power. Yeah. But when it comes to boxing skills, I think Ortiz has better skills. So he can win that fight, and if he wins that fight, I like if he's paired with Usyk too, so that we can see how it goes. Because
yeah, that's a very good pairing.
Exactly. He has good boxing skills, and I think with that one with Usyk, we can be able to tell if Usyk is really ready for the heavyweight.
Right. I think I agree with you. That Usyk could be a very good player. I know that if you were the manager of King Kong, where would you have taken him? Where will you take him to his next fight? Will you tell him to retire, or you move him through the ranks for him to get some small money?
Oh, he should continue. He should continue fighting, because he's a big name. He's a big name. Okay, and then there are some other guys there that he can beat. There are some other guys there that he can beat them. He can beat them. He has guys there that he can beat and then entertain the crowd and things like that. So it's better he continue fighting. But to give it to some young lions now, even Chisora fight, he will lose that fight at the later rounds, because he's old, and then his tank will be empty at the later stages, and he will lose that fight because Chisora will stand on him.
Okay.
Yeah, Chisora will stand on him, and with Chisora's weight, and then Chisora is somebody that you cannot easily get knocked down. Okay, so he's very heavy, so he will stand on him, and then King Kong is somebody, if he's being stand on, he also do lose his concentration. That is what cost him in the first fight against Deontay Wilder. He will reach a point to put Deontay Wilder down. Okay, Deontay Wilder was staggering and things like that, but he wasn't able to finish him. And then later on, they took him out. He lose concentration, and then they took him out. So there are guys there he can fight and then win a nice fight and things like that. But to fight some of the rank guys, I don't think he can win any of them. Like young guys, Du Bois and the rest, I don't think he can win any of them. But so he should continue fighting.
Okay, all right. Now, so your overall, your last words on what are all the fights that happened over this week.
My last words is that DEVIN HANEY is not a good fighter at 135. He doesn't have that skills. Even when we talk about skills and techniques, I think people are misunderstanding and people are misinterpreting. I think they are focusing more on fame and money that the boy has. But when we talk about boxing, real boxing, I don't think he's prepared for the 135 division. And I'll advise him. It's better he vacated the BBC title and give an excuse that he gives an excuse and without from the sport, because with the boys there, the title there, they will come for it and they will take it at one touch. And I'm predicting here again, it's going to end before round 6. He's going to take a knockout, a brutal knockout, because you see, he's a very annoying guy and he has already annoyed all the boys. Because they keep calling them, And you see, when you keep calling people like this and they come, you see, like someone like Gervonta, what he will do to DEVIN HANEY if he catches him in the ring, I tell you, you people won't like it. We'll all be here, we'll be begging. Why is he doing this to the boy? Why is he doing this to the boy? So we should be prepared for an exciting fight 2021, because he will lose the title. He will lose the title before June. Now, with Luis Ortiz, I think what he's doing is good, and it should keep on going. At least a fight with Chisora will also help him to get some millions into his pocket, because at least he has given the boxing fans some good fights with Deontay Wilder and all that. So if there's an opportunity for him to also make some millions before he retires, I think it's good for him and it will be good for the sports as well.
All right, great. That's some last words coming in from Daniel. So he thinks that DEVIN HANEY should retire because the guys. Or better to leave the lightweight division because the guys are very dangerous. Let me get my final words also from Kujo. Kujo, your final words.
Basing on what the fight today, DEVIN HANEY still impressed me. One thing I like about DEVIN HANEY is among all the young guys over there, all the young guys, all of them are boxing together, and then if you look, Teofimo, Gervonta, Garcia, and all those guys, DEVIN HANEY is the guy who show maturity in the ring than the rest of them. In fact, he showed maturity in the ring as a boxer than the rest of the guys over there. And I still don't see anybody who can useless DEVIN HANEY in a ring among them now. I don't see anybody. Maybe punches chance, fine. But somebody who can beat DEVIN HANEY to the pop, no, I never see anybody yet among them. And I believe strongly that any of them that face DEVIN HANEY will lose the fight by one punch, like a point. Okay, the person will lose, yeah, by 1 point.
Okay.
One step ahead as always. Okay. And DEVIN HANEY never called Garcia. Garcia is the one calling these guys.
Oh, no, I'm a doer.
It's Garcia who is calling. He called to the point that DEVIN HANEY replied that, oh, he's ready for him. Meanwhile, they fought already at this thing, amateur. About 6 times. The first 6 times in amateur. And then it's been split 3-3 among them. But after that, Garcia's fight, apart from the punches chance, he never do anything in the ring as a boxer. Garcia. DEVIN HANEY is far better than, if I look at Garcia, I see Deontay Wilder. But I want him to, yes, I want him to prove me wrong against Campbell. That is what I'm waiting for. So Garcia cannot beat DEVIN HANEY.
Okay.
Yeah.
like you guys, if they don't fight even in lightweight, we might see it in super lightweight or maybe waterweight when they are full grown and you know their body are able to make the weight, and then we will still be here. They will fight, and then we will get to the bottom of it. Because me, where I stand now after watching the Henny, my mind has changed. And I felt
Yeah.
like I've always had a doubt in my mind that he's the weaker link for me. But
Good,
of course,
good.
his focus, his focus, and listening to the corner, you can't take it away from him because he was listening to his dad the entire time and he worked for him. I won't take it away from him, and he's very disciplined in terms of training. Uh, I can't say that about Gervonta, but we've seen that since Gervonta came or became a pay-per-view star, he has taken training more seriously. In fact, after the win, the Monday he was back in the gym and he was working out. Even though you have said that he has done a hit and run, he hit somebody's car and move and all that, but
Yeah,
he's still back working really hard, and um, now he understands the business more than before. That now he understands that it's more of money, and to make the money, you need to keep up and still fit. And that is what David Haney already knows. David Haney has already been around greatness, like we were talking about, and he has seen that these guys are always in the gym working out. If they're not even working out, they are on the road running and all that, and that's what he has done perfectly well to keep or to sustain himself to this level. But nevertheless, Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell, Richie Commey, Gervonta Davis, Teofimo Lopez, and Devin Haney, they find themselves in a category that if we don't see them fight today or within the next year in the lightweight division, we might see these fights happening in the super lightweight or the waterweight division. Don't forget, we have people like Mickey Garcia who's even willing to even fight some of them. And I feel like he should even sit somewhere else because he's the one that will be easy for them to beat. Looking at the way the guys have, these young guys are very hungry and all that. Maybe a fight against even if I feel like even if he stands against uh, Henny, maybe he might even go down because the Henny will use the jab game and maybe he will be able to become victorious. But that's my opinion, and I'm just excited, and I feel like in this year, if not anything, the best are fighting the best somehow. We are seeing some
yeah.
Yeah.
of the best guys fighting the best. The people who are choosing are very few, and the guys are stepping out. God willing, next week we'll be back here on Saturday. We will discuss about uh, Kell Brooks and then Terence Crawford because they'll be in action, and then we'll also have some of the female fighters fighting on the matchroom card as well. It's also looking very exciting, and we've seen the winter. We have seen Teofimo, and then we have seen Devin Haney. These are the three guys that we all said are dominating the division. And here comes Luke Campbell versus
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan
Ryan
Garcia.
coming up on December 5th. And that will complete the lightweight divisions for us to know the people who are really going to make a statement. So we just pray to go to grant us life for us to be able to see this fight, and then we'll prepare and make our predictions towards 2021 when some of these guys will step up to face out each other. Guys, I want to say a very big thank you to you for making time for us.
Kobe,
Yeah,
uh, I heard of what's the name? Game Boy.
yeah.
They Game Boy. They choose a boxer for Game Boy. He will be fighting soon. So I'm only praying that
Yeah, they're
fight
going
should come up
to,
because it will be a very good fight for Game Boy.
yeah,
It's
they're going to
against Mason Menard.
they'll be
Yeah.
fighting on the 7th November.
Oh, okay. So I'm praying
Yeah.
for that fight to come on so that we see what Game Boy have in his box now. Thank you.
Right. Because today I was watching a video of him sparring. He was in good shape. He was really in a good shape. And that thing that he'll be doing that thing, moving back, he has stopped. I was really I don't know if This I don't know if his new trainer is bringing. But he finds himself around some of this like great talent, yeah. Xander and all those guys. They won't come and stand there and come and watch you and do your Azonto movement. You know, it is sparring. So I don't know how it's going to be like when the real punches hit him in the ring. So, like I say, we have to because that will be the first time he'll be fighting since he went to the US, and it's been there like since last year. So let's just pray that he comes on 27th and see how it's going to do. And I didn't go to posted that he will be fighting very soon, and we are still waiting for news, and it hasn't come. We have from now to December, we are having somewhere around 6 or 7 weeks for the year to end. So let's see what they'll come up with, and then we will see how it goes. For us, we just hoping that they bring us victory, or they get some opponent that will put their name in some positions that will get them the chance to fight for world titles, and see whether Ghana will have another world title again, either this year or next year. But for me, the weaker link for the lightweight, I would advise. To go to. Regardless, and definitely we will be here to have a conversation on how we feel that the fight will go. So, guys, thank you. I know it's very late in Ghana, and so thank you guys for making time and all our viewers that tune in around the world, especially on YouTube, Twitter, and on Facebook. God bless you guys, and have a very good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.